Lab number 510. In this lab, we're finishing the installation of our MobileFirst platform on Windows machine. And now the only things that are left actually are first of all, the installation of our runtime, then the verifying that Application Center is also installed, and the final thing is to verify that we set up everything correctly using the test application. So let's start with the runtime. For that, we will need to go to Program Files and then IBM MobileFirst Platform Server shortcuts and launch this thing called Configuration Tool. So Configuration Tool is actually the graphical interface that will allow us to graphically set up the server configuration and install the runtime. So first of all, let's create a server configuration. Let's name it somehow like MFP Windows, for example. It doesn't really matter. Then we need to again fill the questionnaire. So first of all, we can click next. You can create MobileFirst server shortcuts if you need. This is like the icons that will be on a desktop, for example. Then basically we'll need to select the DB2 as database as we set up it. Again, provide credentials and jar file and the location, everything. So the jar files, you remember, are located under C, Program Files, IBM, SQL Lib, and then under Java, we have DB2 GCC4. Click Next. The username DB2 admin and the password. And the password is double Q was uppercase, double Q was lowercase 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we need to wait until it verified the credentials. Click Next. Select the WebSphere application server and provide the details for a path. This is default one. The server name is MFP, default user let it be admin as is, and the final thing is analytics. And here you need to be very careful, because if you will set up it wrong, it won't work. So first of all, we need to change the ports. So as you remember, analytics server is running on 9081. The login and the username, the login and the passwords are admin. And then you need to provide the proper IP address. Ideally, it shouldn't be even IP, it should be DNS or something like that, but of course we don't have it, so we need to provide IP. And there are several options how to check the IP address. So one of the, not the smartest, but common option will be to go to adapter settings and then check the status, go to details and check your IP address. So most probably you will have different one. So instead of remembering mine, please check your IP address of this machine. In my case, it's virtual machine. So this is the IP address that I will be using. So it's 10.0.2.15. So here you should provide your IP address, click Save, and the final step will be to click Deploy. And this configuration from the XML file that we just saved will be actually installed. So you will create the admin database. For admin services, you will create the database for server itself, and you will also configure automatically the server XML file by doing this installation. And the only thing that we will need to do further is to install actually the runtime, where we will install the adapters, apps, and everything else. So the runtime is a totally different thing, and this one we can close. And the runtime setup can be launched by clicking on this link. So basically we need to enter any name, let it be something like MFP server, for example. Analytics password is the same, admin. And now you need to select the var file. In our case, as you remember, the var file you downloaded from our GitHub repository. This one is the test environment for testing our setup. And here is really important to set the correct context root. This is the environment context root. And in our case, it should be MFP server with S in uppercase. Otherwise, you won't be able to verify setup. The application won't be able to connect to a server, because this is the URL it expects to be. So afterwards, click Next. Again, fill in the parameters for database, db2 admin, and the password is the same. Double key was uppercase, double key was lowercase, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can click Next, save this, and click Deploy. So basically that's it. As you can see, our runtime environment has been deployed. Now we can close the server configuration tool and also the network settings, of course. Basically, the next thing we will need to do is to restart our servers. So let's go to program files. For that, then of course IBM, WebSphere, Liberty, and bin folder, and type server stop analytics. Then let's start it. And the same action for MFP. So that's it, we can close this PowerShell now. As you can see, we have some shortcuts created on the desktop. So for example, MobileFirst console will launch the console for us. Let's verify that it's both working on the local host and on our IP. So in my case, the IP is this one. In your case, please enter your IP address. So yep, it's working. The username and the password is admin. As you remember, we left default ones. Yep, you see the runtime there called MFP server, just as we expected. And let's try to deploy there something. So by something, I mean, of course, our test application that you should download from GitHub. So let's start with the application. Inside that app, we have desktop browser environment, so we will be able to test this app right in the browser. And let's also deploy a test adapter because that app, one of the test steps will be to call this adapter. So next thing is actually to go inside this environment, click on the desktop browser link, and you will be able to see this application. So let's open the developer tools by clicking inspect and navigate into console, so we will be able to see all the output. And first of all, we will click connect. We don't have any authentication, so there will be errors regarding that until we will actually set up the authentication, but it should be able to connect to MobileFirst Platform Server. Yep, as you can see, the server connection actually established, and we went to the next step. So the next step after successful server connection is to call MFP adapter. So we'll be calling the test adapter, and it will reply us with some dummy text. And yes, we managed to call the adapter successfully and get some response. And the final step will be to log a message and send this message to MobileFirst Platform Analytics, so we will be able to search through several logs inside the Analytics console and see that message. This is the purely client-side message, so when we click this log sample text, as you can see, the message is just hello from client side. This is the warning message that is logged, and as you can see, logs were successfully sent to server. So in order to check that, let's go back to our MobileFirst operational console, click Analytics console, again type the username and the password, admin. As you can see, we have actually the sessions active, so we can go to search tab, enter here hello, And by clicking search, yeah, we should be able to see this hello from client side. Basically, that's it. On this step, we verify that our analytics is also working, and the final thing is to verify the App Center. So the URL is App Center console after port 9080, and the username and the password is different. By default is App Center admin as the username and admin as the password. So as you can see, we have here the application center, actually the management console. We won't be able to verify the actual application center work before we will get a real device and try to install some app and upload here the app, register it and so on, but we will do it separately in totally different lab series. And basically on this step, our current lab series with installation of MobileFirst Platform on Windows is finished. Thank you.